Joining me now is filmmaker and commentator Ami Horowitz. Ami, the left is in meltdown over new polling data showing that Donald Trump is gaining popularity among Black and Hispanic voters. Even CNN pundits are in a spin about this. It looks like Trump will have the best performance with Black voters since 1960. That's the best Black vote for a Republican in 64 years, despite continuously being called a racist, Ami.
Yeah, look, it's absolutely incredible. The Obama coalition, which propelled Obama and Joe Biden to the presidency, is a three-legged stool, right? It's white women, Hispanics, and Black voters. And while he's gaining with white women, although that's actually being outpaced by the gains by Trump with white men, the other two legs of the stool are cratering, Rita. First of all, the Hispanic vote. The Hispanic vote 2 elections ago was at nearly 70%. Right now, Trump might get 50%. He's right now pulling at close to 50% of the Hispanic vote. That's despite the fact that the media business continuously trying to call him as anti-Hispanic. Right? That's all they do. He hates immigrants. He hates Hispanics. Hispanics aren't stupid. They see what's going on, and that's why he might win close to 50% of the Hispanic vote, okay? This is not going well for them. The Black vote. The Black vote, historically, votes for the Democrats at a higher rate than Putin wins in his last rigged election, okay? They vote for Democrats at nearly 90%. But right now, it is possible that Trump is going to win 25% of the Black vote. That may not seem like a lot to you, but that is a bigger percentage of Black vote in almost 60 years for Republicans. But more importantly, is that vote may flip a state like Pennsylvania, where he really has a problem in the Philadelphia urban area. Look, all of these things are coming together and creating absolute desperation and fear in the camp for Kamala Harris. How do we know that? Because she's going to the Death Star. She's going on to Fox News for an interview. She is so desperate that she can't handle friendly interviews, Rita. How is she going to handle Bret Baier? And Bret Baier, by the way, is not an attack dog. Bret Baier is actually just fair, right? Fair and honest. And she's not going to be able to handle that. She can't handle the View, Rita. What is she going to do? Look, the polling is all trending away from her. You know, a couple quick stats that I think are really important. Right now in the Rust Belt, right, the 3 most important swing states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Right now, she's behind in all. He may sweep all 3 of them. And Wisconsin, which was kind of solidly in her camp, not by much, but pretty solidly, in the last 10 polls that were done, she's only up in 4 of those polls. In Pennsylvania, in the last 10 polls, she's only up in 2. And in Michigan, which is probably the most solid blue of those 3, in the last 10 polls, she's only up by 1. She's down statistically in all of those swing states. And he's probably going to win Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and right now Nevada is trending toward him. So look, right now it's possible, if the election were held today, he might win every one of those swing states. It is desperation time in Harris's camp.
And as we know with him, he's historically polls badly. His vote is underrepresented in those polls. The end results always turns out to show that he had far more support. I remember in 2020, the margins between the last polls and what he actually achieved at the election were enormous in some states. So that, I think, would be playing on the Democrats' mind as well, just how bad are the real numbers, not just what we're seeing. And you can see why her camp is panicking and coming up with these vote-buying policies that are frankly racist. 1 million forgivable loans of up to $20,000. She's aiming this at Black men to try to get them to stick with the Democrats. She's talked about protecting cryptocurrency investments for Black men, making recreational weed legal, and certainly having Barack Obama go out there and berate Black men seemed to backfire, Ami. That did not work. In fact, I think it did far more damage than good.
Now, I mean, on what planet do you think it's a good idea for anybody, I don't care if it's the first black president, to go out to the constituency you're trying to get to support you and to vote for you, and then demonize them and say you're a bunch of misogynist idiots? On what planet is that going to work? I don't understand.
Now, you've been out on the ground again speaking to voters. You were in Harlem. Here's what one young man had to say about why so many black men are leaving the Democrats.
Whether it's Brooklyn, Bronx, I see a lot of people that you would never think, oh, I'm pro-Trump, let's go Trump. Like
Particularly black men?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm in awe. A lot of the media, especially what we see now, CNN and, everything else, they don't really tell us the full story. They push this notion that maybe Trump is like this bad guy and stuff.
And
he could very well just be like a bad guy, but I'd be lying if, like, numbers don't lie. If you look back, he's done a lot, especially, in terms of employment and stuff. He's done a lot for, like us, under his administration.
And Ami, as you pointed out, the issues that impact black people are the same ones that impact everybody else, whether it's crime, inflation, the illegal immigration crisis. And I think that's something that the Democrats have forgotten. The areas where they have failed America, they've also failed the black community.
Look, I was out there all day. Look, I'm in Harlem quite often talking to black people, but I spent all day talking to them specifically for a video on this topic. And yes, look, they understand that they are being taken for granted. Like you hear that all the time by black people. Look, we're voting 90%. What are we doing? What are we getting for this? Like, they're not stupid. They're old enough to remember what it was like under Trump and compare it to what their life is like today under Joe Biden. And they're looking and saying, we were better off 4 years ago. Not just black people, by the way. That's the same question that every American asks themselves, and they come to the same conclusion. My life was better 4 years ago than it is today. That's a problem, and it's an endemic problem for the Democrats they cannot run away from. And this balkanization of black people to say, hey, your issues are different than everybody else's. It's so patronizing. It's so racist. It's so ignorant. What are black issues? What's a black issue? I know what a black issue is. It's crime, it's education, it's immigration, it's the economy, it's inflation. Oh, guess what? Those are also my issues. How could that be? We're all the same? Yes, we're all the same. The Democrats cannot understand that. That is why I think, look, I'm going to call it now. I think Trump's going to win this election. This thing is trending toward him. There's only 3 weeks left. I don't see this turning around anytime soon unless there's some kind of massive mistake that he makes, which is always possible. I'm calling the shot. I think Trump's going to win.